Hello friends, myself Triveni, Assistant Professor, Department of Pharmaceutical Chemistry, working at Raipur, Anantapur, Andhra Pradesh. In this video, I am going to explain oxidation of fatty acids, mainly beta oxidation. If you like this video, like and subscribe and share to your friends. Coming to the fatty acids oxidation. Introduction part. Fatty acids are simplest form of lipids. In the structure, they have carboxylic acids with hydrocarbon side chain. Most of the fatty acids that occur in natural lipids are even carbon atoms. Usually, they may have 14 carbons to 20 carbon atoms in their structure. Examples: palmitic acid, stearic acid. Palmitic acid, it contains 16 carbon atoms in their structure. This is the structure of palmitic acid. Stearic acid, it contains 18 carbon atoms in their structure. This is the structure of stearic acid. Some fatty acids also contains odd number of carbon atoms. Example: propionic acid, valeric acid. Propionic acid, it contains 3 carbon atoms in their structure. Valeric acid, it contains 5 carbon atoms in their structure. These are the structures of the propionic acid and valeric acid. And all these palmitic acid, stearic acid, propionic acid, valeric acid are saturated fatty acids. Let us see oxidation of fatty acids. Fatty acids are oxidized by most of the tissues in the body. Brain, erythrocytes and adrenal medulla cannot utilize fatty acids for energy requirement. Let us see the different types of fatty acid oxidation. There are 3 types of fatty acid oxidation are there: alpha oxidation, beta oxidation and omega oxidation. Among these 3 pathways, most predominant pathway is the beta oxidation. Coming to the alpha oxidation, that means a removal of one carbon unit at a time takes place by the oxidation of alpha carbon atom. That way, this type of oxidation is known as alpha oxidation. We will see this alpha oxidation finally. Coming to the omega oxidation, it is the minor pathway. It involves hydroxylation followed by the oxidation of omega carbon atom present as a methyl group at the other end of the fatty acid. This oxidation also we will see later. Let us see most important, most predominant pathway for the oxidation of fatty acids is beta oxidation. Oxidation of fatty acids occur on the beta carbon atom. That's why we call it as beta oxidation. It results sequential removal of 2 carbon fragments takes place as acetyl-CoA. Let us see beta oxidation of fatty acids involves 3 stages. The first stage is activation of fatty acids occurring in the cytosol. The second stage is transport of fatty acids into the mitochondria. Third stage is beta oxidation proper in mitochondrial matrix. Let us see the first stage, that is activation of the fatty acids. The fatty acids are activated to acyl-CoA by the enzyme thiokinase or acyl-CoA synthetase. This reaction occurs in the 2 steps. This is the first step and this is the second step. In the first step, fatty acid reacts with the ATP to form acyl adenylate. In this step, 2 high energy phosphates are utilized, thereby ATP is converted to pyrophosphate. ATP is converted to pyrophosphate here. Immediately, the enzyme pyrophosphatase, it hydrolyzes the pyrophosphate to phosphate. Hydrolyzes pyrophosphate to phosphate moiety, PI. Pyrophosphate means PPI. That's why this reaction is irreversible. In the second step, acyl adenylate, it combines with the coenzyme A to produce acyl-CoA. By the formation of acyl-CoA, fatty acid will be activated, and activated fatty acid entered into the stage 2, that is transport of acyl-CoA into mitochondria. The active form of fatty acid, that is acyl-CoA, it is impermeable to the mitochondrial matrix. So here it is a mitochondria, this is the outer membrane, and this is the intermembrane space, this is the inner membrane, and this is the cytosol, that is the matrix. So here fatty acyl-CoA, activated form of fatty acid, acyl-CoA is formed in cytosol, but it is impermeable for the transportation into the mitochondrial matrix. So for the transport of acyl-CoA from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix, it requires the transport system. The transport system name is carnitine carrier transport system. Coming to the importance of carnitine shuttle. Chemically, carnitine, it is a beta hydroxy gamma trimethyl amino butyrate. Carnitine is quaternary ammonium compound having hydroxyl group. We can tell like this also. This hydroxyl group will react with the acyl-CoA. It forms the ester linkase. It forms the ester linkase. This link easily broken down when reactions will be happens. During the vigorous muscle contraction or during fasting time, more energy will be required. For the supply of energy, carnitine shuttle will be activated. At low levels of the ATP and low levels of the melanoyl CoA, it activates the carnitine acyl transferase 1. It allows the transport of fatty acid from cytosol to mitochondria. This occurs in 4 steps. In the first step, acyl-CoA of the acyl group is in the first step. Here what will happen? This acyl group of the acyl-CoA is transferred to the carnitine. It will be transferred to the carnitine. This reaction was catalyzed by the carnitine palmitoyl transferase 1. This enzyme present on the outer surface of the inner mitochondrial membrane, that is intermembrane space. Then the formed acyl carnitine, it is transported across the membrane to mitochondrial matrix by the specific carrier protein. The specific carrier protein name is carnitine palmitoyl transferase 2, which was present on the inner mitochondrial membrane. It converts to acyl carnitine to fatty acyl-CoA again. Then the carnitine, it will be released. The released carnitine, it will be re-enter into the cytosol for the reusage. Let us see sequence of the steps involved in this stage for easy understanding. So this is the cytosol of the mitochondria, and here acyl-CoA combines with the carnitine. This reaction was catalyzed by the carnitine acyl transferase 1. Because of this enzyme, acyl-CoA will be converted to acyl carnitine, and here this acyl carnitine having the capability, it can transfer from cytosol to mitochondrial matrix, and here again this acyl carnitine will be converted to acyl-CoA. This reaction was catalyzed by the carnitine acyl transferase 2, where it combines with the coenzyme A and it releases the carnitine. This released carnitine again re-entered into the cytosol for the reusage. This is regarding transport of acyl-CoA into the mitochondrial matrix. Let us see the third step, that is beta oxidation proper. Here, 4 enzymes in a sequence of 4 reactions catalyze the oxidation of acyl-CoA to acetyl-CoA. These 4 reactions are oxidation, hydration, second oxidation and cleavage. Let us see one by one. First of all, see these reactions in a sequence order. So, you know, regarding this, the first step is activation of the fatty acids with the help of enzyme thiokinase. Here the fatty acid, it will be activated to acyl-CoA by the 2-step mechanism. It requires the ATP and magnesium as a cofactor, and this reaction was catalyzed by the thiokinase enzyme. Upon activation of fatty acid to acyl-CoA, acyl-CoA must be transported to the mitochondrial matrix. For this, carnitine transport system will be helpful. That is the second step. In the third step, beta oxidation proper, here 4 steps are there. That is oxidation, hydration, second oxidation and cleavage. The first step, that is oxidation, we can call as dehydrogenation. This acyl-CoA undergoes dehydrogenation by FAD dependent enzyme, that is acyl-CoA dehydrogenase. Because of a removal of the 2 protons, from here 1 proton, from here 1 proton, by the removal of 2 protons from alpha and beta carbon atoms, this is alpha carbon atom, this is the beta carbon atoms, it forms the delta square trans-enoyl CoA. That means here the removal of protons will be taken place from the opposite directions of the carbon atoms. So this is the carbonyl carbon atom, and here this is the alpha carbon atom. From alpha carbon atom, the proton will be removed from this side. From the beta carbon atom, the proton will be removed this side. That means obstruction of protons will be happens opposite sides of the acyl-CoA. So the product formed here, it is in a trans form. And here the delta square indicates the presence of the double bonds between the second and third carbon atoms. That's why we can write here delta square. 2 means here the double bond is present in between the second and third carbon atoms. This is the first carbon atom, this is the second carbon atom, this is the third carbon atom. So we have to write delta square, and it is in a trans form, and it forms the enoyl CoA. In the next step, that is hydration, that means addition of the water will be taken place. Generally to the alkene, by the addition of water, it forms the structure like this. So I'll explain here how it will be. So this is the alkene, C double bond C, and this is the general structure. Upon addition of the water, water means H2O, then it forms the structure, enol structure. It should be like this. Here it is. It is the hydrogen one side, and this is the R group, and this is the R dash and R double dash. Upon hydration, it gives the H plus and OH minus ions, and here this OH minus ion, that means it will be hydrated. It means it gives enol form like this. And here the question is, why hydration takes place at beta position only? If you see this structure, it is an alpha carbon atom, this is the beta carbon atom, you know that. This system, it is alpha beta unsaturated carbonyl system. Because of the inductive effect of carbonyl carbon, it receives the positive charge. So how it will be, it looks like, I'll write here. So this is double bonded system, and here it is this system, unsaturated system attached to the carbonyl carbon atom like this. And here, because of the inductive effect, you know that oxygen is more electronegative, thereby it receives partially negative charge. The carbon atom will receive the partially positive charge. And here, resharing of the electrons will be taken place from the unsaturated system. Here, resharing will be taken place. And because of the inductive effect, it's looking like keto-enol rearrangement. Then with the beta carbon atom, it receives the partially positive charge. That means a prominent positive charge will be localized on the beta carbon atom. This is the alpha carbon atom, this is the beta carbon atom. That means here the nucleophile, whatever the nucleophile OH minus formed, no, that nucleophile attacks the beta carbon atom easily for the formation of beta hydroxy acyl CoA. Thus, that is the reason, because of this reason, this hydroxyl group will be attacked at the beta position but not the alpha position. Coming to the third step, in the third step, oxidation of the secondary alcohol, it gives the keto group. So here it is the secondary alcohol moiety. Because of the second oxidation, that is nothing but dehydrogenation, removal of the two hydrogens from this carbon atom, beta carbon atom, it gives the beta keto acyl CoA. And here that reducing equivalence will be taken up by the NAD, and NAD is converted to NADH plus H plus. And whenever NADH plus H plus entered into the electron transport chain, it produces the 3 ATPs. According to new edition, that is a 2.5 ATP. It is 2.5 ATP. According to old edition, it is 3 ATP. In previous case, this reducing equivalence protons will be taken up by the FAD. FAD is converted to FADH2, and FADH2, when entered into the electron transport chain, it produces the 2 ATPs according to old edition. According to new edition, it is 1.5 ATP. Then coming to the fourth step, final step, that is the cleavage. In the final reaction, the beta oxidation is the liberation of 2 carbon fragment will be taken place as an acetyl CoA from acyl CoA. This occurs by the thiolytic cleavage catalyzed by the beta keto acyl CoA thiolase. Simply we can call as thiolase enzyme. The new acyl CoA containing 2 carbon atoms less than the original, it re-enters into the beta oxidation cycle. This process will be continuous till the fatty acid is completely oxidized. So this is the fourth reaction, that is the cleavage. And let us see the oxidation of palmitoyl CoA energetics. Here the palmitoyl CoA entered into the oxidation cycle. It utilizes the 7 coenzymes, 7 FAD, 7 NAD plus and 7 molecules of water to produce 8 molecules of acetyl CoA, and 7 FADH2 will be produced, 7 NADH plus H plus will be released. So, and you know that the starting of the presentation itself I told that palmitic acid contains totally 16 carbon atoms. I indicated here 16 carbon atoms. So for each cycle, by the removal of 2 carbon atom fragment as an acetyl CoA, totally it requires these 7 cycles to produce 8 acetyl CoA. In the first cycle, by the removal of 2 carbon atoms, it produces 1 acetyl CoA. This is the second cycle, it produces the second acetyl CoA, likewise the third, and in each cycle it produces the 1 acetyl CoA. So here 1, 2, 3, and it is the 4, this is the 5, this is the 6, 7, 8. So totally 8 acetyl-CoAs will be produced. These are the cycles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it requires 7 cycles to produce 8 acetyl-CoAs, and that means palmitoyl-CoA undergoes 7 cycles. These are the cycles. These are the acetyl-CoAs. Produce 8 acetyl-CoA. Acetyl-CoA can enter into the citric acid cycle and get completely oxidized to carbon dioxide and water. These are the cycles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cycles and produce 8 acetyl-CoA. And let me explain the energetics of the palmitic acid. In the first reaction, that means for the activation of the palmitate to palmitoyl-CoA, it requires the energy. So here 2 ATPs are utilized. So I indicated as a minus. And here energy releasing steps, that means oxidation of 8 acetyl-CoA. When entered into the citric acid cycle, it produces the ATPs. No? So 1 acetyl-CoA entered into the citric acid, it produces 10 ATPs. Here how many acetyl-CoAs will be formed? 8 acetyl-CoA. So 8 into 10, that is equal to 10 ATPs will be produced here. And oxidation of the 7 FADH2, it produces the 10.5 ATP. That means 1 FADH2 will enter into the electron transport chain ETC. It produces 1.5 ATP, and here 7 FADH2 will be produced. No, that's why it is 10.5 ATP. And 1 NADH2 entered into the electron transport chain. It produced 2.5 ATP, and here 7 NADH will be produced, and thereby it produces 7 into 2.5, it is 17.5 ATP will be produced. So total net yield of ATP is 106. Totally 106 ATPs will be produced upon oxidation of the 1 palmitic acid molecule by the removal of the carbon dioxide and water. This is regarding energetics of the palmitic acid. Next, coming to the disorders due to the blockade in the beta oxidation. The one of the disease is SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. That is unexpected death of healthy infants, usually overnight will be taken place due to the deficiency of the medium chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase enzyme. And glucose is the principal source of the energy soon after eating the feeding of the babies. After few hours, the glucose level and its utilization will be decreased due to the rate of fatty acid oxidation must simultaneously increase to meet the energy needs. The sudden death in infants is due to the blockade of the beta oxidation. Because of blockade of the beta oxidation, they cannot get the energy, and thereby this disease name is sudden infant death syndrome. This was caused by the deficiency in medium chain acyl-CoA dehydrogenase, that means MCAD. The second disease is Jamaican vomiting sickness. This disease is characterized by the severe hypoglycemia, vomiting, convulsions, coma and death. It is caused by eating unpaid acne fruit which contains the unusual toxic amino acid. The toxic amino acid name is hypoglycin A. This inhibits the enzyme acyl-CoA dehydrogenase, and thus beta oxidation of fatty acids is blocked, leading to the various complications. And abnormalities in transport of fatty acids into the mitochondria and defects in oxidation leads to the deficient energy production by the oxidation of long chain fatty acids. The features of hypoketotic hypoglycemia, hyperammonemia, skeletal muscle weakness, liver diseases. Acyl-carnitine accumulates when the transferases or translocase is deficient. The dietary supplements of carnitine improve the condition. Coming to the remaining two oxidations, that is alpha and omega oxidation. And up to now we seen beta oxidation. Now coming to the alpha oxidation, that means oxidation of fatty acids on alpha carbon atom is known as an alpha oxidation. In this, removal of one carbon unit from the carbonyl end will be taken place, and here energy is not produced. This is the important one. From this alpha oxidation, energy will not be produced. No need of fatty acid activation and coenzyme heat. Hydroxylation occurs at alpha carbon atom. It is then oxidized to alpha keto acid. This keto acid undergoes decarboxylation, yielding a molecule of carbon dioxide and fatty acid with one carbon atom less. Coming to the omega oxidation, it is the minor pathway, and compared to the beta and alpha oxidation, it takes place in microsomes. It is catalyzed by the enzymes involving NADPH and cytochrome P450. Methyl group is hydroxylated to CH2OH and subsequently oxidized with the help of NAD+ to COOH group carboxylic acid group to produce dicarboxylic acids. When beta oxidation is defective and dicarboxylic acids are excreted in urine, causing dicarboxylic aciduria. So this is regarding oxidation of fatty acids. If you like this video, please subscribe to this channel and share to your friends. Thank you for watching.